Welcome to the Johnson County Cavalier Sports Report. I'm your host, Morgan Lamb, and joining me today I have head coach of the softball team, Aubree Brattin. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you started your career here, your collegiate career as a player here, moved on to Emporia State and even played professionally. Seems like you came all the way back here. How does it feel to be back at Johnson County?
I love Johnson County. My heart's always been here, so it was kind of a no-brainer when I got the opportunity to come back and coach and be part of this program. And really, at that point, I didn't know that this is what I wanted to do, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, I believe in the process. Obviously, we're one of the best community colleges in the nation, and our softball program is as well. So, you know, it's where I want to be. It's a great place for any coach to be. So I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, so your sixth season here, and you have one of your former players on your coaching staff.
Yep.
How did that decision come about?
Well, I've actually went through a couple coaches since I've been here. Coach Katie played for me. She was a freshman when I came in as the assistant coach, and sophomore when I took over the program. She knows, you know, my philosophy and, you know, how I run this program and my expectations. And so, you know, when she reached out to me and wanted to get into coaching, and, you know, I saw an opportunity to give her just that. I mean, that position and this program can be a good outlet for coaches to kind of work their way up. And, you know, I think Katie was in the same boat as me. She loved it here and loved her time here, and, you know, it just was a good fit. So
Worked out well.
it did.
You guys just got back from Fort Worth, Texas, some warmer weather down there, playing a little earlier in the season.
Yeah.
How did those couple days go for you?
They went well. I mean, to be expected, we had some ups and downs. First games out of the season, we're shuffling people around the field. We see some higher level competition, all Division I's that we played in that tournament. And, you know, I think we should have went 5 for 5. We ended up 3-2 on the weekend, but we had a lot of great things that came out of that, and definitely exposed some weaknesses that we have been working on the past couple of weeks to get us ready for conference play. So,
what are some of the things you'll be working on to get ready for conference play that starts next week already?
Yeah, Tuesday actually we go to Allen County. We've been working on just, you know, consistency on our defense, discipline at the plate, executing our bunts, just kind of more specific things, first and third plays, just our communication on the field, you know, just fine-tuning some things that really we've worked on all year but kind of needed some special attention to make sure that they're not causing us runs or ball games come conference season.
The Jayhawk Conference is notoriously tough, especially for softball. Do you have any games circled on your calendar that every year you know it's going to be a battle to win?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some teams in mind every year. I mean, the top 4 are pretty consistent throughout every year that I've been here thus far, and even when I was here as a player, those have kind of rang true throughout. But do I put anything special into those games? Not really. You know, we focus a lot on us and what we can do. We know that our girls are some of the best players in the country at this level, and definitely in the Jayhawk Conference. So if we can focus on us and executing what we can do, it doesn't matter who's on the field with us. I mean, we're going to come out on top, and if we start to worry about what the other teams are doing, you know, then we're just not looking in the right direction. So we kind of just put all of our focus on us and what we can do, and usually that brings us out on top.
Coming off of such a successful 2016 season in the conference, you guys finished second in the conference.
Right.
You have a couple returners from last year. What do you expect from them with so many new faces?
Their expectations, you know, have been to kind of lead the team, and their role is kind of like a junior and senior role would be at a 4-year level. I mean, they're forced into that leadership position and really teaching everyone that's new, whether it be transfers or the freshmen coming in, you know, what are our expectations, how are things run behind the scenes when coaches aren't looking, you know, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Obviously, we look to them to execute on the field. They've been through this conference. They know the target that we have on our back year to year, and so just being 3 of them, it's hard to kind of put that into the brains of everyone else and really make them understand, you know, literally everyone is out to get us. But I think that they've done a good job in just holding their teammates accountable and letting them know, you know, this is for real, this is coming. And, we expect them to, just continue that leadership, and they've done that from day one this year. So.
And you have a couple of transfer sophomores too. What do they bring to the team that's a little bit different than having a freshman to a sophomore here in the program?
All of those transfers came from good programs. It just wasn't a good fit for them, and they came and were ready to make an impact, and they've done just that so far. And we expect them to do the same things that our returning sophomores do. At this point in the season, everybody knows our expectations and what we're working towards. We have our goals in mind. Those transfer sophomores, will make an impact in every area that they're able to on the field, everywhere we give them an opportunity to do so. They came into this program knowing that we were expecting stuff out of them, and expecting them to perform and provide wins for us. And all of them, have stepped into a role, and it's as if they're sophomores and have been here for years. So.
Team chemistry is a huge part of what makes any program successful. How has your team specifically worked in the off season to build that team chemistry?
Right. Year to year, team chemistry is one of the top priorities for us. It's so hard to build that team chemistry in a 2-year program, and that is where majority of success can fail or not happen at all. So we put a huge emphasis on that. We do team dinners, and the girls are always together even when they don't have to be. We spend a lot of time together, obviously on the softball field, but they're best friends off of the field, and so obviously we want that, but we start that process early on in the recruitment process. We don't recruit kids that we don't think are going to mesh well with the way we run things or with the other recruits or the returners or whatever. So we try to build a class and a couple of classes that we know are going to get along together off the field, on the field, and be able to mesh into hopefully a national championship team.
Going back to the recruiting and how you're looking for players that will mesh well, what are some other things you look for when going through the recruiting process?
Just good people. We want kids that don't think they're God's gift to softball, that want to, we want them to come in and, have some respect for what we've got going on here, and know that they're brought in because they have the potential to, carry on that tradition, and, they want to work hard for it, and it's not something that is handed to them or gifted to them because they get to put Johnson across their chest. It's something, that they work for and put in every single day in order to achieve that and maintain that tradition. So we definitely look for kids that want to give that hard work and put in, everything that we ask of them.
Also going back to recruiting, how do you feel that you and your coaching staff prepare your players for that next level of play?
I think probably any kid that has went on and played at a 4-year after here will say that their hardest 2 years out of their 4 will be being here at Johnson County. We prepare them on the conditioning side of things in the weight room. We discipline them on their time management. They've got to figure that out. Obviously their academics are huge, so that's something that gets ironed out while they're here. They really got to figure out their lives in those first 2 years on top of being collegiate athletes. And so not that it's much different here, but because it's such a different time in their lives, these 2 years are so crucial for them, and that's why they look at it and think it's a little bit more difficult than the rest. But that's our job. We're here to prepare them because coaches come to us and want kids that are going to come in as juniors and make an impact on their program. There is no time as a junior in college in athletics to ride the bench to figure stuff out. It's you go in and you make an impact from the very get-go. And so it's our job to do that, and so that we can feed kids into those programs, and those coaches come back to us year to year because they trust that we can produce those athletes.
You mentioned how important academic success is for your players. What do you expect from them in the classroom, in their free time?
Well, we put, team study hall we have once a week. They have individual study hall hours that they do weekly. They're required to build relationships with their instructors early on, sit in the front 2 rows of class. We do grade checks every other week. We stay on top of them as much as we can because if they're not doing their job in the classroom, they're not even going to get the opportunity to do their job out on the field. So for a lot of people, that's motivating for them. They're they want to play the game that they love, and so they're going to do their job on the other side to know that that's not an issue. And you know, there's life after softball, and that everybody gets to do what I get to do. You know, they've got to have good grades and build a career for themselves. And so, yeah, it's definitely huge, and we put a big emphasis on it.
Perfect. You mentioned life after softball. Did you always see yourself becoming a coach?
No, not at all, actually. I majored in psychology, and while I was doing that, my focus was sports psych, so I was huge on the mental side of athletics, and that's really what I fell in love with through school and realized that that's something that I would like to do. I gave lessons throughout my college career to younger athletes and worked some camps and stuff like that, but I'm usually a pretty reserved person, so I was like, I never would want to be in that type of role to where I'm having to direct people. But when I was presented with the opportunity as the assistant, I was like, okay, I could be the second man in line, you know, and just I'm good at doing what I'm told and putting my head down and just working hard. And then very quickly I got offered the head job, and really I was interim for a while, and then thought I'll go through this process and, you know, see where it takes me. And I think there were probably bigger people working my plans for me, and yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, this is where I was always meant to be, and I love it here and love what I do, and it's really not a job for me. It's you know, something I love every day. So
that's great. And with a sports psychology background, how do you keep your players and even some of your coaches with such a long season mentally in the game still?
Well, we go through a sports training program, sports psychology training program every off season. So the girls have a packet of worksheets and stuff that we go through as a group, but that also they can fall back on if they feel like they're struggling. We try to figure that out before season gets here. So, you know, what is their refocus routine? How do they prepare themselves to get in the right mindset before practices or before games? You know, how do they maintain confidence when things aren't going their way? You know, we do our best to just try to iron those things out so they know how to handle them when it gets there, because it will. And hopefully they can face it when it comes. So.
All right, I have 5 rapid-fire questions for you off the top of your head.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Do you have any superstitions, even as a player, or no?
No.
No? None?
Really, I really don't have any superstitions.
All right,
No.
favorite music group, musician?
I love country music. I'd say Eli Young Band.
Okay. Favorite pregame meal?
Well, every morning I have oatmeal with chocolate chips, so I would say
Always.
that. Yeah.
All right. Who is your best player or the funniest player to follow on Twitter, and why?
Like on my team, the funniest player? Gosh, none of them are that funny. I don't know. It's fun. It's more fun to watch them go back and forth with each other more than anything. Just give each other a hard time. So really, all of them as a group.
And what is your very favorite show on Netflix?
The Fosters.
The Fosters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, that's weird. You're going to have to look it up.
Okay, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping by
Thank
today.
you.
I appreciate it. I'm excited to see how you guys do on the field coming up.
Me too. Thanks.
This has been the Johnson County Cavalier Sports Report. I'm your host, Morgan Lamb, and I'll see you next time.